Internet, Ash, but your internet sucks. But hey, it happens. It happens. It happens. Good to see you all again. Well, when you all do actually get in here. I gotta say, I really do love this live studio setup. It is, it is very, very sexy. They designed a good thing. If you've done any streaming on Twitch or other services into Facebook, then you know the general setup of a lot of those Streamlabs designers, making it so that you've got everything shaped in such a way that it works best for you. And I'll be honest, I'll be super honest. Uh, I only dabbled on the Twitch side of it for a little while before my poor little laptop burned out from trying to power the whole thing, and have not actually had access to a computer that could do the real work with it until recently. So, big shout out to Ashray. It's hooking me up with this lovely laptop for the weekend. Did I tell you it'd be the weekend? I don't think I did. Oops. Oops. Oh well, you know me. I'll actually bring it back right away if you want it back right away. But either way, I get to have it set up properly. It's Tarot Thursday. Properly announced at the top with free card draws every Thursday. All requests honored. We put a replay up on YouTube after the fact, so if you can't stay for the show, then you can at least catch it on the replay. And this is my commitment to community, spiritual community specifically, that exists in this world, because spiritual access is ridiculous. I worked at a place where people were charged normally about $120 per hour. It's $2 per minute for a reading. And that was the norm. That was the standard that was set by them. And because they were the oldest, the longest, the most consistent within the province, they were considered the golden standard for it. Excuse me, my cats are getting into their food. I hate how you ask for things, Ghost. I hate how you ask for things. Anyway, as I was rambling on about, the Russian Tea Room very much set the standard for what you would charge in Edmonton for a reading, having been very long-standing and long-running. They aren't the first, though, and I think that's one of the important things to remember about Edmonton. The first, the first group to come through, the first business was the Silk Hat. And Silk Hat was just across the street, kitty corner, in the exact same area of town. If you work a lot with energy ley lines, if you work a lot with patterns, you start to notice that certain things usually gather together like that. And so that it's all in that same neck of the woods doesn't surprise me. Both both buildings being very high energetic, and being in a corner of Edmonton that just seems to have a good run of random luck. Some of the readers in this place, though, would push the envelope a little bit. $2 a minute, that's not enough for them. And so there's a number of times that I saw people getting charged $300 or $400 for 20 or 30 minutes of service. And that always rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. It makes it so that spiritual access is no longer available to all. It's inaccessible, simply based on the sheer cost required to access a reading. And for a long time, they kept it very much about entertainment purposes in Canada. So you couldn't even really call it a spiritual encounter or a spiritual experience, because according to Canadian law, witchcraft is evil, and where you can't be practicing witchcraft, so it must be entertainment you're doing. That law was removed somewhere in the last decade, I believe, but some of that stigma still exists. As such, the whole idea here is to open up a new avenue for people to get that random spiritual advice, random input from another perspective that might allow them to see something a little bit differently in their own experiences, and help them to redirect their own energy into something healthier, more fulfilling for them as an individual, more empowering for the nature of their soul. That's the game plan here. provide this service and provide this opportunity. Let's go like this, if I can. I hope that doesn't bounce too much on your guys' side. I just need another source. Text. This is going to look really weird for a minute. Just give consent in chat, and I will draw your card. Okay. I'm so sorry. How's that look on your guys' side? Anyone want to tell me? Oh good, it does still let me see preview. Oh, it doesn't look great, but at least it looks like something. Thanks for hanging out this long, Robert. You've been the sole holdout. 10 points. That way. It is stuck into there a little bit. So let's hope that doesn't cause issues. It's going to cause issues, isn't it? Okay, fine. Fix it. Fix it. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I don't mind it. I think it looks fine. Doesn't look wrong. Going to be really key here. It looks way better on landscape. See, TikTok Live is made for landscape, I swear. The portrait mode is greater for chat, I'm sure, because nobody's keyboard comes up well when it's sideways, but just watching and just visualizing, it does look way better when it's landscape. Yeah, well, no, it's set up now. And now I just wait, because that's all it's all out. Minor radio blackout in progress. Okay, I'll blame this traffic problem on that. Solar flares everywhere for the last few weeks, the last few months really, and I am kind of wondering if they're ever going to actually say that we've hit solar maximum or not. I haven't heard a solid answer either way on that yet. Ugh. Alright, what else can we do in here? Come on, fix yourself. Fix yourself. You're okay. Fix yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, that was my fault. I'm just trying to make things work properly, I swear. That's all it is. There we go. There we go. It's on position. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So the deck is here. I haven't had anyone throw in a request yet, and I don't mind. I ain't going to read anybody until I get their consent. But, yeah. Welcome to the show, people. Every Thursday, free tarot cards, because spiritual information and the opportunity to get a card should be easy access at all times. That you should have the opportunity to talk to somebody about the weird and the voodoo. So if you've got questions, we'll get into that as well too. I love my random nonsense, I call it. Random nonsense being, it makes sense to you, but when you speak it out to others, it becomes gibberish. It's just random chaos expressed in a way that you can comprehend, but isn't necessarily reaching those around you. And as we start to find ways to connect and work more with other people's perspectives, understandings, and opinions of space and time, we can start to expand our own understanding, get ourselves in such a way that we're open, receptive, and receiving the different ideas and the different potentials that exist within the universe around us. If this keeps up, I might try sitting back up there. I don't know, is this better or is this worse? So, if anybody wants a card, now's the time to dig on in. Let me know what you want. Oh, this feels way more like casting couch or something stupid like that. horrible things from the 90s, I tell you people. The 90s were not a friendly place. No. Okay. Anybody else? No. Okay. Hmm. Huh. Well, at least everything seems to be running properly. Otherwise. Thanks for the follow, Michael. Much appreciated. Anissa, you came and you wandered into chat. Got a card? Want a card? There it is, Anissa starting us off. Who's Andy? Friend? Partner? Mortal enemy? Environment's coming up being a situation of Three of Swords. When you're dealing with Three of Swords, remember there's a certain heartache and heart pain that comes along with it. Stepping through from one world to the next is the mainstay of the World card. And what you want to remember with that, Anissa, is you have to allow a transformation from one stage to the next. Crushes are a neat thing because we feel some sort of gravity and some sort of existing energy pulling us towards it. And trying to figure out what exactly that energy is sometimes more important than who the energy is going to. So, unless you break the mold and step into it and actually try to challenge him straight on. Challenge is a bad word, but being able to approach and bring up the topic and bring it up in a way that you can inspire the conversation in that way. Maybe not calling it a date, but maybe call it hanging out. See if the time spent together goes well. But you can't keep staying on the sidelines. You have to step through and you have to push. You have to push it to that next stage, into that next evolution. Something of competition in the back of my mind. Somebody else that is also doing the soft, gentle pushes. And if you don't keep it moving forward, hanging out with a person once a week is good and fine if you're in your 30s. It's all the time that we have to offer. But you have to make it something more than just passing moments and passing opportunities. You have to move it slowly into something more. Through conversation, through communication, you have to push it onward. My laundry's beeping at me. I forgot I had laundry in. So I'm going to go take care of that for a minute. You guys feel free to hang out if you want. Anissa, step out of the one world and into the next. If you want a relationship, then you have to step it up to that next level. Then it's a no. And the door closes. But that's just it. It has to be brought to a truth. The world is an ending in truth. And so, if he says he's not interested, he's not interested. If he says, yeah, let's go out for dinner this Friday, then go out for dinner this Friday. Oh wait, that's tomorrow. Next Friday. Next Friday. Don't rush it. Take it for what it is, though. Exactly for what it is. I'll be back. Gosh. No, that's not very fun. Don't tell me I lost the cards. Okie dokie. Good luck, Anissa. I'm happy to draw the card. Honestly, if we're going straight off the gut instinct on this one, if it's world, it's going to end soon. Something's going to end soon. And so what's ending is probably the nature of the crush, and I think something's coming to realization on it. But if you don't communicate, if he doesn't communicate, if he doesn't tell you the straight up truth of it, that's one problem. Just be ready for that information to come. Just wait for the information to come that tells you what exactly to expect. And then be in the truth of the moment of it, be in the feelings of it, be in the understanding of it. It's unfortunate too when it's workplace things because it makes for a constant experiencing with the person. You can't get away from people when you work with them. You can't escape them. Unless you change jobs, or change departments, or other ways of kind of bouncing around, getting away. But that's its own kind of tedious. That's its own kind of pain in the butt. It's its own challenge altogether. Bing! What's that all about? Actually, I've been doing the Facebook scrolling. I wonder if there's a way I could add music. I'll have to look for that next. Well, if he likes you a lot, then you guys should go out for dinner next Friday. Step it forward. The key component with any relationship, especially if you're looking to make it something frequent in your life, is to always be moving forward with it. It's friendships, that's family relationships, that's romantic relationships. All relationships have to be rooted in momentum. Not a lot of relationships are just sitting with each other doing nothing. It might seem symbiotic, but at the core of it, it's actually more distraction. Anything that holds you in one spot and doesn't allow you to grow is a risk of stagnation. Stagnant is not healthy. It is not the way to be. Hmm. That then does that. I like that better, actually. I can stay there. Yeah, why is that? Why is that, though? No one else has popped in, so we got time. But, like, what is it that makes for the barrier between him and being with you? And if it is, like, if it's more of a, some places it's not exactly appropriate. Mom and dad get really pissed off if you go start wandering around dating random people because they want to be really, really picky in who that attention goes to. And if it's not a situation like that, but instead more somebody that would disapprove of him going on a random date because he's already got family, wife, or something else in the picture, well, that's a different problem entirely. What is it that becomes the drag upon his heels, preventing him from stepping into your world? And if he doesn't come clean about that, if he doesn't come honest about that, you don't stay there forever. You too have to find your point to move on as well. And if you're staying trapped in somebody else's toxicity, it's no good for you. Challenge it to move forward, and if it doesn't move forward, move yourself to the next proper thing. Hi, Ellie. Hmm. thinking too much about it, that also means it's not coming naturally. And that can be a danger as well too. Yeah, Ellie, let's get you in here. Ellie. Ellie coming up in the environment of the King of Cups, so something emotional, could be family, could be friendships, could be romantics. Your card of the day being the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is a bit of a trick card. A lot of people look at it and they're feeling really positive about the idea of this person doing hard work, lifting lots of sticks, carrying lots of things moving forward. But the truth of the matter is, it's better described as overburdened, oppression, or near the limit of what one can capably do. Once we get really committed into something, whether that be a relationship, a job, something that our passion becomes very entangled with, and it becomes very emotionally satisfying for us to be involved in doing that work, sometimes we pour everything that we have into that moment. We're trying to provide all of ourselves to that thing because that thing is the chef's kiss, it is the perfection of what we have sought in life. The problem with this is then we start to lose focus on what we ourselves also need. It's nice to put our energy into this thing across from us, but if we ourselves aren't balancing our own energy and making sure we're taken care of at the same time, then it becomes a bit of a danger zone where we're pushing ourselves to the red line and not having anything to recover our energy after the fact with it. In relation to friends, it's easy. You just don't pour as much time into the friends and you go back to the places that you recharge. When it comes to family or relationships, then it's a little bit more complicated. Family, it's a little bit of an expectation that you'll put in a certain amount. And if it's not compensating, if it's not reinforcing you as a person underneath it all, it's not it's duty. It's entirely duty, and it's a hard way to wrap the concept around. And it's a personal choice whether you fall into that duty or not. I very much signed off on my parents and passed it off to my sister. I don't care. And so I'm a weird one to give advice for if it is a family dynamic. If it's a romantic dynamic, it's matter of balancing out the responsibilities and balancing out the care. One, a lot of people like to say, "You take care of home, I'll take care of work," and we do still see a lot of those breadwinner kind of setups in the world. I don't feel like it's something like that, though. I think it gets more in you're pouring in the attention, trying to maintain, trying to support, and trying to reinforce, and maybe not getting the same amount of effort back on the other side in expression of it. And if that's the case, then it comes down to communication of love languages, understanding how the two parties best communicate back and forth, and trying to meet each other at their communication level rather than always making it about your own communication level. And that's the shift. If a person can adjust that and they can take some of those sticks off of your shoulders and start carrying it for you, that moves you into an easier state of being, and you can start doing things that help you to progress, develop, and grow as well too now. So shifting the weight away from your shoulder and onto the shoulder of the people that you're pouring into, that's usually my first recommendation when the Ten of Wands comes up in an emotional field. But more to it, you also not taking on that weight again. You do it now, sure, but don't go back to doing everything for everybody else and making the burden on your heart greater. There has to be a balance of you giving yourself time as well too, and make sure that's learned in the experience. So, Ten of Wands, too much burden, too much weight, too much shouldering, taking on too much load. And wherever you're putting that investment into the emotional connection with these other people, make sure you are getting your proper dividends, your proper payback from these people, your proper return on your investment. Some people get a little weird thinking of emotional connections as an investment or as an exchange, but it's kind of crucial. If we just give, and somebody just takes, and takes, at some point one of us is going to break, and it's more often than not the giver, not the taker. Don't put yourself in a bad spot. Good luck. Thanks for popping in and catching the card today. And nice and early on it too, you know. Gets to a point later on where it's literally like a minute a card, and I don't mind. It's not coming up with my proper information up here. What the heck? Anyway, I don't mind when it's being a little bit cranky and a little bit chaotic-y, but it does make it hard to get good information out there. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some good direction, some good course. And thank you very much for coming out and joining us today. I'm still kind of fiddling with the settings and trying to make things pretty. I've been debating about this themes thing. Can't decide if I want to add a theme or not. It's toys, and I like playing with toys. Playing with toys is nice. Mark up. What am I marking? Hi, Christina. Good to see you lurking. Audio mixer, audio mixer. Hey, there we go. There's sound checks, there's audio ins. Is there a way to add an additional? Yes, yes, there is. Add audio, audio source. There it is. There it is. I hope you're having a good Thursday so far. I won't be able to hear this audio, so I can have things that are playing to me, and you guys can't. That's snazzy. That's smart. Cool. Additional microphones. Microphone device. That only allows me to add microphone devices, though. It's good to know. Okay. So that's the audio mixer. Settings. The quality priority has been set up. Thank you. Thank you. Got that little bit of delay still on. Looks good. Oh. Oops. Well, that's good to know. It's recording. It's recording it automatically, which on the one hand, that's going to make it really good for uploading it to YouTube after the fact. It's not my computer. I didn't know it was going to do that, so oops. Oops. Sorry, Ashley. Can switch between chat scenes and other scenes. Cool. Turning camera on and off. Create treasure box. What's a treasure box? Interesting. Lots of little gimmicks and lots of little toys on it. Lots of little things you can play with it. Here's my coffee. Nice. Well, as of now, I can go live for the next 180 days with live studio access. I just can't get, access suspended today and then we're good, but either way. Theoretically, that means gold's done. Do I run away now? Do I run away and escape and never come back and say, yep, that was Tarot Thursday, guys. Quietest Tarot Thursday yet. No, just be cheeky. Just be a pain in the butt. Okay, fine. It has not been an awful setup. What do we do with the chat box? Tell me your settings, okay? Allow comments, allow gifts, activity, turn on show gifts and subscriptions at the top of the live chat. Oh, I missed 11:11. And that looks to be another solar flare right at 11:11. Just what we need. More solar flares pouring in. High potential spams. I can add my key filters. Notifications only from. Okay, neat. Floating window. I like. Yep. Moderator still in there. No muted accounts. A whole bunch of blocked accounts. I wonder what most of that was about anyway. I didn't do most of it. Thank gosh for moderators. Rabbit's great. She actually understands this stuff way better than I do. I should say, I think she understands it better because she's getting in chatting and working with a few of the people a bit more closely. And it always helps when you got a good mentorship kind of going on to kind of guide you through the steps of things. Most people aren't. Most people can't just work with the tool and absorb all the knowledge that's supposed to come with it. That's it's not a standard format for being a human, I think. But when you can instead work with somebody else to give yourself a direction course and information to guide you along the right way, that usually allows for a little bit more better experiencing of what's up around you. That is, learn from your teachers. And if you can make anybody your teacher, you can make anybody work for you that way, that's a really bit of a superpower that can come out in living life. Having that capacity to allow others to educate you is at the core of it. Here dings. What have I got? Oh no. Nope, no instruction under there. Sorry. What kind of audio would I put on the background? Would it let me play a file on loop? Let's see if I can find out. It just says audio sources. So I would have to emulate it as a source first to make it actually work in. Mentions this Razor Synapses app, though. I'll look at that later and see if maybe that gives me an option. More solar flares, though, so you know, I will continue to blame that to be the purpose for the delays in anything here. It's never busy in the 11 o'clock hour. It's one of the reasons why I like starting it a little bit earlier, because the people that can make it early, prioritize it. It's good, it's fine. But the afternoon rush, when it's going off, that is, it makes for a neat run. Anyway, yeah, fancy little app here. Kind of goes through a whole bunch of different solar flare things. You get some cool pictures as well of the sun using different kind of camera lensing and everything else. It's called Space Weather Live, and I originally picked it up so I could keep an eye on what's going on for the Aurora Borealis, sort of a way of tracking when I might be getting the next best light show, and it works pretty decently for that. It's not the best, but it works pretty decently. Information, access to information, honestly, is one of the superpowers of the modern century. So I do encourage all people to take advantage of what is available to you out there through the forms of technology. Not all technology is inherently wrong, evil, or dangerous. It's just learning how to work with technology in the proper manners. Can't just hand something over without making sure that there's a focus on doing it appropriately, doing it responsibly. You don't just give somebody a power drill. You show them the power drill before plugging it in and explain to them the switching of bits, the moving of parts, the maintenance of parts, maybe even, depending on which which power drill you're working with. And it is fair to expect by a certain point that most people have a basic understanding of some things, but only if they've really put themselves in an environment. Somebody in a grade 12 construction class should know how a power drill works. Somebody that's never been in a grade 12 class of construction prior to, though, something that they should be vocal about when they first step in. If you're new somewhere, don't be afraid to make people aware of that. People are always understanding when newcomers show up. Curiosity is important to almost everybody. Everybody was curious at some point in their life. So when people do get curious again and start working their way out into the world, it's sometimes possible to find a whole new understanding of the self and the energy there through it. You start to explore, and exploring is risky. Anybody that's been around tools knows that. And they can help make sure that your explorations aren't as risky as they potentially could be. Now, I could restart it, but not to the afternoon. Let's see who else shows up. But yeah, my cheeky butt's gonna put something on background and distract me. At least until people show up. Easier going this way? Yep. Nice camera. Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna restart this. Ah, I know. We'll run it out until the laundry beeps again, and then we'll cancel it then. That's the smart thing to do, I think. Unless all of a sudden it gets busy and then I'll just be stuck in a weird rush, but, you know, work it out the right way, whatever way. What else can we tailor? What else can I? Other sources, up to 20 altogether. Why won't you let me make it 13? Well, fun. Sorry, at this point I'm just fussing. I could set up some kind of challenge with timers. Could timed readings are really kind of important for some people. Might be a way to obscure it. Timepacing in general, not a bad idea. No things. Little things. What else do you got in here? Oh. Little things to play with. I can set up a whole gaming setup on this. I don't know if I should be streaming video games too. Can't imagine what my latency is going to be like if I go that way with it, but it's tempting. It's definitely tempting. Didn't do it. Hi. Eco-friendly subs do exist, however many people recommend. We keep as much product out of the river as we can. Bored. I'm not bored. I swear I'm not bored. I'm bored. Free fudge brownie to make it right. And when restaurants mess up, how can they just get away giving free food out to fix it? Alright. Thanks for hanging out with me, Patrick. Or, sorry, Robert. Robert. Sorry, I was just chatting with Patrick, and now I'm just going to screw everything up really badly. I'm going to reboot this, though, and see if we can get this going a little bit better.